Welcome back. It is 1511, and last year we had Susanna be born to Isla, and then we had Amory be born to Cassandra. Uh, Eleanor has started trying to become a knight, even though nobody supports her. Tobias has discovered his sexuality, but is still engaged. And Gabriel has become engaged to Princess Diana, but he has also gotten Verena pregnant. So we'll follow up on all those things. Oops, I forgot to go like this. Okay. This year, oh wait, Althea died last year, you guys. Oops. Who else did I need to? I should probably check that. I forgot that I'd have to remove people. Okay, no, she's the only one on my sheet. Sorry, Althea. That's really sad. Okay. Oh my gosh. Why did that startle me that Gabriel's birthday is this year? Okay. No 3 or 18. Okay. No 3 or 18 for Eleanor or Elaine. And then Constance has to get an 8 or above. Okay. Everyone survived. Good, good, good. Okay. In the game, I want to introduce you to a new family. This is the Gainsford family by Storygirl, except I obviously messed that up, by Storygirl 83. The Marquis and Marchioness of Gainsford have had good lives, but they worry that their sons are not ready to take over the estate by the time when their time comes. Oldest son Giles and his wife have a strong relationship built on their shared desire for a family legacy, but they have had 2 daughters so far. So yes, we have the Marquis and the Marchioness, their eldest son Giles and his wife Cecilia, their 2 daughters Juliana and Beatrice, and then he has 2 brothers Nicholas and Lawrence. So that is a new family that we are introducing, and that's that. So let's hop into the game. Alrighty, so here we are. It is currently Gabriel's birthday, so that's what we're going to start with, a little birthday celebration for him. We're going to have a party, we're going to age up him, and we're also going to age up Diana, although I don't think she actually needs it. I think she did already age up on her own, so that's good. And we will invite everybody to the birthday party and get him to blow out the candles and just have a good time. So I think that this will be really nice. He actually rolled materialistic. How perfect is that? Like, seriously, how perfect is that he rolled to be materialistic? Because I feel like it just really matches for him. So he is now a young adult. He can actually join different careers. I think that we're going to have him join as the nobility career from the royalty mod. So we'll do that in a few minutes. But yeah, I wanted him to be able to do all that and actually become, I haven't played with that career yet. So that's what I wanted to do. And then we also have Eleanor meeting some of the Gainsfords. And so this is, I already forget his name. Did I write it down anywhere? So this is one of the Gainsford sons. He is, okay, I did write it down. Okay, he should be Nicholas Gainsford. He is actually the second son, but his older brother, who is going to inherit, has actually had 2 daughters. So Eleanor has just met him, and they have a good first impression of each other. So I think that maybe he'll come a calling for her, but they just met. That's all that happened there. And then, of course, Henry is totally like eavesdropping on us. But Verena finally comes around to tell Gabriel that she's pregnant and that, obviously it's his baby and all this stuff. Even like her dad is lurking around like, come on. But yes, so Verena, or maybe that's not her dad, actually. I think that's Aries Watson. Anyway, so Verena has come to tell him that she's pregnant and that they need to get married. And he's like a little nervous, of course, because he's supposed to be marrying a princess. He's supposed to get married to Diana, and he's supposed to, get a boost in status, become an earl when that happens. So because of that, he is nervous that Verena's statements about her being pregnant are going to ruin his plans to marry Diana. So he kind of just puts her off. He like says, "Hey, like don't worry, we'll handle it. I'll handle it. Like, I'll make sure that everything goes well." He kind of is very vague in everything, but he basically gets her to hold off on doing or saying anything to anyone else for now. So he's kind of hoping that if he can marry Diana and get, and woohoo with her, like they're not going to get a divorce, like it'll ruin Diana. So obviously her family won't be for that, and her family is more powerful than the Albert family. So he is going to come and talk to Siobhan, and they are deciding together that yes, of course he'll do the thing he's supposed to do and take care of his illegitimate child, but that he needs to quickly marry Diana so that nobody can force him to marry Verena instead. So he actually goes out later, and I guess they're just going to have a water balloon fight. But like maybe he like goes out for a stroll in the gardens with Diana and, having a good time. And there's a bunch of people there and everything. And so he is actually going to make sure, once you're engaged, you get a little bit more leeway with some of these things. So he is going to give her a big kiss in public, just so that everybody knows that they're getting married and that she is no longer a, on the market, if you will. So that's what's going on there. They're all just having a good time. He is kind of asserting his position as Diana's fiance, and it's actually really interesting to watch the water balloon fight. So, anyway, we are going to just see, we're going to come home and wait until the next day. So actually the wedding is going to be tomorrow. So for now, we're just going to have everything going on here. We have all of the siblings. I think it's so funny because all of these siblings, because Eleanor is hot-headed and Gabriel is mean, and every time, they all seek each other out to be, mean to each other, and it's so wild. Even Tobias will seek Gabriel out, and it's like, dude, you keep looking for him, but you know how he's going to act. I don't know what to tell you. So there's that, and he is going to continue to do his university coursework. He's actually going to be done. I think he'll be done before he gets married, so that'll be good. I mean, actually, I think he's getting married next year, so maybe he won't be, but he's definitely going to be finishing everything. Okay, so we are now joining the nobility career, like I said, and he needs to get to level 3 logic and level 2 fitness, so I brought him over here for that, but I realized that he actually already has level 3 logic and level 2 fitness, so I don't know why it's not counting. So I guess I'll just have to cheat that when he gets up to the check mark of everything. So anyway, we then have him and Siobhan just hanging out, spending time together, planning and plotting on how to make sure that Verena doesn't interrupt the wedding to Diana, and how that they can make sure that they have their wedding night and everything before anybody finds out about the pregnancy. So the whole family is then hanging out in here, which I think is super sweet. Also, Lionel, will also seek people out, especially when I'm trying to have these serious conversations between them. So I think that that's so funny, because I think, maybe Lionel is, a little bit of an eavesdropper. Maybe he'll be nosy when he grows up. We'll see. But he is kind of surrounded by drama constantly. So he is growing up in that mess, but he's still, a proper little kid, which is so funny. And I think that Gabriel and Tobias, really are, taking him under their wing. And, even though he's just, a kid, that they're actually, being really good family members. All of them have been really good to Lionel, and there's been no distinction between, or the full-blooded sibling and Lionel. And I think that that's really sweet, actually, that they are, they may fight and they may bicker, but at the end of the day, all these people are family, and they're actually really close to each other. So I think that that's kind of sweet, even though I don't think it's sweet that they're mean. Anyway, let's go to the wedding. So it is now time for the wedding. Of course, it's raining all the time in this game. So let's just head out here. We'll have everybody take their seats, and then we'll have Gabriel and Diana walk up the aisle together, if we can. Diana, if you would, go back there and walk up the aisle. And if Herr Leifer could just not be sitting in the middle of it. This is just the way this game is, Okay, so there they go. They're so happy to be getting married, and they are coming up here. And, of course, they're going to go sit down. Of course you are. No. Okay. So we are going to have them, do their thing. They're getting married. They're saying their vows. They're going to bonk heads, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so they are getting married. He is getting exactly what he wants. He's going to be fashioned into an earl now. He's also going to keep the Viscount title as well, but he's going to be, the earl. And so we're just moving up in the world, continuing to move on up. And then we're going to have everybody come and eat and spend some time just enjoying the post-wedding party. So let me just change this. So now that he's gotten married, he has actually completed the Reformed Rake aspiration. So I think that that's really good. And then we're going to have everyone just hanging out. You can see Isla is pregnant. Cassandra is pregnant. Kennedy, I think, is pregnant. Everyone's pregnant. So that's really great. And yeah, they're all doing really great. All these families are growing. I love that the Sims in our game are just expanding and that our family tree is continuing to grow and that we're seeing new Sims in our game. I'm just having so much fun playing all of this. And yeah, so on that tangent, no, you're not going to go to work right now. So what I'm trying to do is have Tobias and Violet talk, but they keep walking away. Of course they do, because they just live to infuriate me, these Sims. So basically, Tobias and Violet are going to have a conversation. They already know each other, and they have become close friends, and they kind of have, talked to each other about their issues and their concerns, and so Tobias does tell her that he's gay and he likes men, but he's, worried about having to marry someone who will have expectations of him, and he doesn't want to be in a marriage where he has to pretend that he loves the wife, but he doesn't. And then Verena actually just had the baby, and we're going to name him James. So our baby, James, has survived. That's actually our first child and our son. So maybe if Diana struggles to have a son for us, we could potentially take him in. But anyway, so yeah, Tobias has told Violet all about his struggles with his sexuality and his fears about getting married to Elsabeth. And also Violet has talked to him and told him, that she hates her family, like her stepmother, and she wants to get out of the house. And so they kind of talk to each other and they hatch up this plan. So they're like, wait a second, why don't we marry each other? And Violet will know, she's not expecting love from him. She's just expecting friendship, and they can both do whatever they want. And she can get away from her family that, her stepmother that doesn't treat her right. And so they kind of cook up this plan. And I totally agree. So Pink Sugar Pie had mentioned that, like, oh, well, maybe him and Elsabeth have an arrangement. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so right. Like, but not with Elsabeth, because I wanted, Violet was always going to be the one, because she's like, Cinderella in the story. And so I did want her to be able to escape her family and her evil stepmother. So yes, Tobias and Violet, now that they're good friends, Pink Sugar Pie, I totally agree with you that they should be in some kind of marriage of convenience where they are married to each other, but neither of them have expectations for the other to, be in an actual marriage. They're just both trying to get exactly what they need out of this. And then I'm also going to change Diana's outfits to yellow. Honestly, a lot of these are kind of weird looking. I'm trying really hard. So let's get her in this outfit. And then you can see that she's wearing the jewelry that Gabriel made for her. It actually came out really cool. I love the jewelry in this, the like new jewelry. And then I'm just going to add in a different hair clip that matches the jewelry better. So like gold and red. And then I'm just going to use MCCC to change her outfits, because I don't want to do that for every outfit. So I'm going to make her also materialistic, because we also kind of talked about that. We talked about how she is, wanting to get married only for the lifestyle that it affords her, that she isn't really actually into men, and that she is just doing this because she wants to, still be accustomed to a certain lifestyle. So here she is, and we are going to have them woohoo, because of course, they'll be expected to have a child. I'm going to update the family tree, so I have to actually update a lot in it, because we have to add in Verena and her family, and then we also have to add in Diana and her family. So just adding everyone in, and there is the current king, princess. Diana is still a princess, even though she is also now a countess. So she's now a countess, but I think she's still going to go by princess. I think she likes being called by the higher ranking title, right? Like, even though, um, technically I think they're supposed to like take on the title of their husband, but I think that she would continue to be called a princess. So here is everybody. And then also, like I said last time, Dietrich did marry Gracie Dubois. So I do have to fix that as well towards the end of this, because I did want them to get married. And then I think that it kind of creates more pressure on Gabriel, because now the Albert family does have another connection to a Marquis. And obviously, though, Gabriel has a better connection with him because his sister is married to him, the Marquis. His sister is the Marchioness. So, anyway, we are going to, again, like I said, we're just updating everything here. Lots to update. I don't know why that didn't update for the Queen for a second, but that's okay. And then we're going to have everyone doing their thing. Like I said, I'm having them woohoo a couple of times. Hopefully we'll be having a baby soon. And then we are going to, like this. She is just gorgeous. Oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. And yep, there we go on the Light family. And then also for the Albert family. So much going on here. Lots to update on the tree and everything. And also, I didn't mean to click on that. I was trying to change her name from Light to Larkin, and I clicked on the wrong thing. Oops. But anyway, they are having a pretty good first part of their marriage, and Gabriel is thinking, like, he wants to woohoo a lot because he's like, she has to be pregnant. She has to be, because I can't, once it gets out that I have an affair child, like, oof. So anyway, so we are going to also, like I said before, I think that Diana would be accustomed to his and hers chambers. So I am going to change up this a little bit so that we can have it so that Gabriel and Diana have separate sleeping rooms. So I'm just going to move some of this stuff around so that they can, have that. And so Diana is actually going to keep the room that was already pre-existing because it's connected to the nursery. So obviously, the woman should have that. Not that she's going to be really taking care of the kids at all because she hates children, but anyway. So, and then he's going to have this room here. And it's honestly just going to be pretty much the same. I'm really not like trying to do a lot of building right now. But yeah, so there it is. Just adding in this, and it looks good. So this is Gabriel's bedroom. And then we will go back into live mode. Back to what's going on here as soon as I just reconfigure this a little bit. Because I did want it to like look a certain way. But I don't know. Like, they need a sitting room. So, anyway, if this was a real fancy house, it would have, like, they would each have their own office. They would each have their own dressing room. They would each have their own chambers. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't, this house I built, it's not ready for that. So, anyway, they are going to, Tobias is going to start his new term and start his last term, because he's been doing 4 classes per term, his last term, and then he will be able to, graduate university, supposedly. Although we might have him get married before that, so. Anyway, so Diana is having a good time, and actually it's kind of funny because she has this whim to have an enemy, and I think that we should absolutely indulge her. So she's just going around. She's kind of getting to know everybody in the house, but then I think that it's funny, so I think she's going to come and talk to Siobhan, and basically, since obviously Siobhan always knew that once Gabriel got married, she was going to have to move out of the master suite, so she's now moved into this suite. It used to be Isla's, and so Diana's going to be like, oh, I hope that, these quarters suit you, and blah, 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 and she's going to kind of start being mean to Siobhan and be like, well, I'm the lady of the house now. So just remember that you're not in charge here, but you can take care of the children, and I don't care what you do with them, but just don't get in my way and like whatever. So they are going to start arguing. I think that Diana is going to 100% pull a power play on Siobhan, and so these two, I'm working up to them being enemies. They are not yet. It does take a while to become enemies, so they are not yet, but you know, I think it's funny that they can, you know, start to argue about who is the leader in this house. And, you know, who knows, maybe Diana will eventually push Siobhan out and she'll have to go live in one of the units or something, but which is a possibility. But I also think that part of Diana, one, likes having someone around that she can tease and be mean to, and two, wants someone else to take care of all the children. And so I think she knows Siobhan will do that. But anyway, I'm trying to have Gabriel and Tobias talk now. So Tobias is kind of like going to talk to Gabriel and be like, actually, about that marriage thing. And he's going to tell him, you know, I found someone else I want to marry, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so Gabriel's going to be like, I don't think I gave you permission to look for someone else to marry. You're going to marry Elsebeth. And he's like, no, but you know, there's this girl, and I'm really into her, and I think that we would make a really good couple. And Gabriel's like, well, what's her family? And blah, blah, blah. And Tobias actually realizes that he doesn't really know. Because keep in mind, he hasn't been introduced to Violet officially, because when he did meet her, her stepmother was like ignoring her at the party. Her stepmother wasn't, you know, ushering her around and chaperoning her and stuff. So he doesn't really know that they're connected, actually. And he can't really answer Gabriel. And Gabriel's like, yeah, okay, well, you're going to marry Elsebeth, and don't talk to me about you marrying anyone else. So right now that's not working out in Tobias's favor. But anyway, we are going to just have them, I'm going to keep having them woohoo. You know, he really wants to make sure that she's pregnant, and he's mad at Tobias. So, of course, they go into Tobias's room to woohoo, which is such a jerk move. But that's fine. So, he's feeling good. She's annoyed with Lionel, but for some reason keeps coming to talk to him. I don't get that for you. But anyway, next we're going to invite over, well, actually, we're not going to invite him. Guess who's going to show up? Hans Albert is going to show up. He is, of course, they have a difficult dynamic, geez. He's going to show up because his daughter has given birth, and she tried to hide it for as long as she could, but when she was finally going to actually have a baby, obviously her family found out. So he's going to come here, and he's very angry with Gabriel. He is like, how dare you, you know, you have, you know, taken my daughter's virtue, and now she has an illegitimate child, and she'll never find a husband now. And they're arguing and arguing and arguing, and Gabriel's like, well, I'm married, I have a wife, like, you know, there's nothing you can do about that. I can't practice bigamy, you know. So he is very angry, and he's like, you're going to take care of this, and you're going to make sure that she is taken care of and all this stuff. And so Gabriel's like, fine, like, I will put her up in a unit, I will take care of her, I will take care of the child, but she's not marrying me. We're not getting married. And so she can just like live as my mistress. And it's actually kind of sad for her because she won't really be able to show her face in society. And yes, Diana is eating for two. So there's definitely no way that he's going to be getting a divorce from Diana. So the best that poor Verena can do is to actually be a mistress. So Gabriel will keep her here. And honestly, Diana is going to love that because Diana doesn't actually like Gabriel like that. So she's going to love if he has someone else to go to when he wants to bother someone. But anyway, as you can see, Cassandra just had her twins. She had twins, but unfortunately the girl did not survive, only the boy. So we have Osric now. Osric Kamal is her second child, and her third child unfortunately passed. So there's that. And that's just the way it is, you know, unfortunately. But she has plenty of baby rolls left, so she is going to be A-okay there. And Gabriel is just telling Diana about, you know, hey, like, I'm going to have my illegitimate child. I'm going to take care of them. And Diana's like, whatever. Like, she only cares about being able to live the life she wants to live. And she does not care if there is scandal or whatever attached to her as long as she is rich and happy. And then, you guys, do you see this? Isla just had her baby. Neither her nor the baby survived the rolls. She rolled a 1, and she did not survive the childbirth, and then the baby did not survive. And that is just... Oh, Isla, my Isla, she did not survive. I am so devastated by this, honestly, because I feel like Isla was off living her very best life, and she does not deserve to have this happen to her. But she did, in fact, die in childbirth with her fourth child. And then, so her and Heath only had 2 children, a boy and a girl. And so, he's only got one potential heir. So that's tough for him. But yes, Isla did just pass away in childbirth, which is so heartbreaking. But there's, what can we do? That's the way the dice rolled, and I'm not going to go over there and plead for her. So, and then we have another baby, which is actually the Landgrab baby. Kennedy and Albert are having Albert II. So that is their first child, and then they have one more baby roll left, so they are going to get pregnant again, and actually it looks like they're pregnant with a girl. So if Albert II does not survive, Hector Landgrab is going to be the one who is going to inherit all of the Landgrab stuff. Although he only has one baby try, that guy. So it's not looking good for the Landgrabs. But yes, Diana and Siobhan are still arguing with each other. And Diana, especially now that she is pregnant, is very like, oh, well, I'm pregnant with the future Earl. So she's very haughty about the whole thing. And then we have Nicholas Gainsford, who has come to call upon Eleanor. And Siobhan is delighted, right? Siobhan is delighted because this guy is next in line for what I believe is a marquee title. His brother only has girls. Of course, there is the chance that his brother will have a son. But, yeah, it looks like, his brother has... Yeah, Marquise. Okay, that's what I was looking for. But yes, also we can't see Eleanor for some reason. But anyway, so yeah, Siobhan is very happy that the second son of a Marquis has come to call on Eleanor, and she is really hoping that Eleanor is, going to behave and everything. And I think that Eleanor is actually enjoying Nicholas's company because he seems genuinely interested in her interests. Like, she right off the bat is like, oh yeah, I think knights are so cool. I want to be a knight, like blah, blah, blah. And he is not deterred by that. He does not seem to be offended by that. And he is like, wow, that's so cool. Like, what kind of training have you been doing? I was in the army for some time, because he's a second son. So he was like, I was in the army for some time. Like, I would love to train with you or whatever. And she is so excited by that she found someone who is interested in what she's interested in and all of that. And so she is cautiously optimistic because she hasn't had the best luck, but she is feeling pretty good about it. So anyway, someone is driving by really loudly, like get a better muffler on your car. And yeah, so we're going to move Verena into that other apartment suite that we have there. And then we are going to do all of the stuff. So the stuff includes, we already aged up Gabriel into a young adult. Elaine Landgrab is also a young adult this year. I actually ended up getting rid of the Beza family for the save. I think that honestly they have been cast out of society because of what Cerdic had done, and also I ran out of space for Sims, so I deleted them. And then Sybil Peacock is now a young adult. Henry VIII is now officially a young adult, and Hughie Gamal is a young adult. Diana, we obviously know, is a young adult, and she's currently pregnant. I haven't even checked. I don't actually know what gender the baby is. Sometimes I check when you guys aren't looking, but I didn't check this time. Beatrice Gainsford is now a toddler, and of course our James is an infant, our illegitimate child James here. We're seeing him right now. Osric Gamal is an infant. Cassandra's daughter ended up passing, and then also Isla and her baby ended up passing. So that is, why are there fires everywhere? So anyway, that is our update for 1511. Next year, why are people so loud outside? Gosh. Okay, next year we have Albert Landgrab II aging up. Okay. One of Cassandra's first son is becoming a toddler, as is Isla's daughter. James will become a toddler at the end of the year. Leticia Goth is going to age up, along with Hector Landgrab and Tobias Larkin. So Tobias is actually going to be getting married, probably well, his birthday is the last day of next year, so either on the last day of next year or the year after. So we'll figure out his situation in the meantime. And then, yes, so I'm kind of scared, but hopefully Tobias does survive and everything goes well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this part. It was really fun. And actually, we have to think about what we would do with the Watson family if Tobias ended up not surviving. That would be a problem. Anyway, we'll figure it out from there. So I hope that you guys enjoy this part, and I will catch you in the next one.